Picture this: perfect genetics, multiple Mr. Universe titles, Hollywood movies, Netflix documentaries, 3 million social media followers hanging on every word. The entire fitness world calling you the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everything you could ever want within arm's reach of greatness. Then you destroy it all in one savage moment of madness. This is the story that will haunt you. How fame, pressure, and social media can shatter a human mind so completely that survival itself becomes the only victory left. The golden boy who had everything. Calum Von Moger didn't just look like Arnold, he was the reincarnation every bodybuilding fan had been waiting for. Born June 9th, 1990 in Victoria, Australia, this farm boy from Geelong would grow into something the fitness world had never seen before. At 14, he touched his first weights in a dusty warehouse gym. By his 20s, he stood 6 feet tall, weighed a competition-perfect 106 kilograms, and possessed that classic Arnold-era physique that made grown men weep with envy. But nobody, and I mean nobody, could have predicted the hell that was coming for this golden god of muscle. The fairy tale began in 2011, when Calum planted his flag on the international stage. WFF Junior Mr. Universe Championship conquered. NABA Junior International Champion that same year dominated. Junior competitions became his personal playground where he destroyed every challenger who dared step into his realm. The transition to senior level, child's play. The WFF Mr. Universe Championship in Seoul, 2014, another scalp for his collection. The American dream becomes reality. 2014 changed everything. Calum packed his bags and moved to America, specifically Los Angeles, the beating heart of bodybuilding, fitness, and entertainment. This wasn't just a move, it was a declaration of war against mediocrity. LA opened doors that most athletes only dream of. Major competitions, sponsorship deals that would make your head spin, and a fan base that grew like wildfire. Within months, GNC had him on their payroll. Muscular Development magazine signed him to exclusive deals. Cellucor supplement brand made him their poster boy. Fitness expos and events became his kingdom. Every appearance boosted his visibility higher into the stratosphere. The networking opportunities were insane. Top athletes, influencers, and fitness brands all wanted a piece of the Calum Von Moger magic. America was falling in love with this Australian muscle god. The Hollywood breakthrough. 2016 brought more victories. Venice Beach Contest winner. NPC Iron Games classic physique champion. The U.S. bodybuilding scene had found its new obsession, and Calum was riding the wave like a surfing champion. But then Hollywood came calling. 2018 delivered the breakthrough that would catapult Calum into mainstream consciousness. The movie Bigger needed someone to play young Arnold Schwarzenegger. The resemblance was so uncanny, the classic physique so perfect, that Calum was the only choice that made sense. His international profile exploded overnight. The social media empire. Netflix smelled blood in the water. 2019 brought Calumgar Unbroken, a personal documentary that gave fans unprecedented access to this muscle machine's life. But it was social media where Calum truly built his empire. 3.2 million Instagram followers, nearly 1 million YouTube subscribers. Every training video, nutrition tip, and motivational post sent shockwaves through the fitness community. His goal was crystal clear and seemingly inevitable: compete at Mr. Olympia and claim the crown that destiny had prepared for him. Everything looked perfect. Success was guaranteed. The future was brighter than a California sunset. But destruction was already sharpening its claws. The first crack in paradise. 2017 at Gold's Gym Venice, a routine tandem barbell exercise with Chris Bumstead. One wrong move, one split second of miscalculation, snap. Calum's bicep tore like paper. Surgery became mandatory. Recovery stretched for months. But this wasn't just a physical setback. It was the first domino in a catastrophic chain reaction that would obliterate everything he'd built. The injury demons weren't finished with him when the body betrays the mind. 2018 brought fresh hell. During bicep recovery, his quadriceps exploded. A rock climbing accident ripped his bicep apart again. The same bicep, the same devastating tear, requiring another surgery that felt like cosmic punishment. Rehabilitation became his prison. Competitive bodybuilding transformed from his greatest passion into an impossible dream slipping through his fingers like sand. But Calum wasn't built to surrender. 2020 delivered his comeback story. NPC Classic Physique Universe Champion. IFBB Pro Card secured. Against all odds, through all the pain and setbacks, he'd clawed his way back to elite status. Then the pandemic hit like a sledgehammer to the skull. Competitions canceled, training schedules destroyed, future plans dissolved into uncertainty. The world stopped, and so did Calum's carefully orchestrated comeback. The incident that changed everything. 2021 brought an incident so shocking, so violent, so completely unhinged that it revealed the true extent of Calum's psychological breakdown. Picture this: a simple car accident. Calum rear-ends another vehicle. Normal people exchange insurance information and move on with their lives. But Calum Von Moger wasn't normal anymore. What happened next defied all logic. Calum invaded the victim's passenger seat. Fury consumed him like a wildfire. He grabbed a knife and systematically slashed the victim's tires to shreds. When confronted, fear replaced rage, and he fled the scene without leaving any contact information. The police search of his vehicle revealed a mobile arsenal that painted a terrifying picture of his mental state: black brass knuckles, hunting knives, bloodstains, Victorian license plates, weapons that served no purpose except violence and intimidation. The authorities weren't just dealing with a road rage incident anymore. They were staring at a man whose mind had completely disconnected from reality. The courtroom reckoning. Melbourne Magistrates Court became the stage for Calum's public humiliation. October 2022 brought a verdict that shocked everyone who knew the former golden boy of bodybuilding. The court recognized what everyone could see. Calum's mental health had deteriorated beyond recognition. Depression, substance abuse, and family relationships crumbling under the weight of his psychological collapse had created a dangerous powder keg. The sentence? A laughably small $2 fine and 12-month good behavior bond. But this wasn't mercy. It was a desperate acknowledgement that traditional punishment couldn't fix what had broken inside this once perfect specimen of human development. The road rage incident wasn't the disease. It was just the symptom of something far more sinister eating Calum alive from the inside. The fall from the second story. May 6, 2022, Melbourne, Australia. The day that nearly ended everything. Calum Von Moger, the man who once looked like a Greek god carved from marble, made a decision that would haunt him forever. He climbed to a second-story window and jumped, not onto a soft surface, not with any safety precautions, straight down onto unforgiving concrete, through shattering glass that sliced his body like razor blades. The impact devastated his spine. Walking became impossible. Major spinal surgery became the only hope for basic mobility. Glass fragments buried themselves deep into his flesh, requiring over 80 stitches just on his hands and arms. The trauma was so severe that doctors placed him in a medically induced coma to prevent brain damage. 11 days in the ICU. 11 days balanced on the knife's edge between life and death. Reports confirmed what everyone suspected. Drugs had influenced this catastrophic decision, but the substances weren't the real culprit. They were just the final push that sent a man already teetering on the edge into the abyss. The ultimate betrayal of fate. As if the universe hadn't inflicted enough suffering, 2023 delivered the cruelest blow of all. Calum's younger brother Eddie chose to end his own life by suicide. The timing was beyond devastating. It happened on the exact day Calum was attempting to return to fitness, planning to appear at the Arnold Classic and reclaim some fragment of his former glory. This loss didn't just break Calum's heart, it shattered his will to continue existing. He publicly admitted to suicidal thoughts, describing this period as the darkest chapter of an already nightmarish existence. When your baby brother chooses death over dealing with life's pain, how do you find reasons to keep fighting your own battles? The slow climb from hell. 2024 marked the beginning of something that couldn't quite be called recovery, more like a desperate attempt to rebuild from absolute zero. Calum started sharing his struggles publicly on social media platforms, transforming his pain into content that might help others avoid his devastating mistakes. It was raw. It was uncomfortable. It was real in ways that polished fitness content never dares to be. The ghost of greatness. Current reports from 2025 paint a picture that would break the heart of any bodybuilding fan. Calum now lives in Thailand, his once massive physique dramatically downsized, his condition concerning enough that longtime supporters fear for his long-term survival. This is the man who was supposed to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is the athlete who possessed every gift necessary to dominate the fitness world for decades. This is the cautionary tale that proves genetics, talent, and opportunity mean absolutely nothing when mental health crumbles. The lesson that could save your life. Calum Von Moger represents the most tragic example in modern bodybuilding history. He had the genetics of a god, the work ethic of a machine, and the support system that most athletes would kill for. But when depression, substance abuse, and untreated trauma combine with the pressure cooker environment of social media fame, even the strongest humans can break completely. His story isn't just about bodybuilding. It's about what happens when we prioritize external success over internal wellness, when we mistake muscle for mental strength, when we assume that looking perfect on the outside means everything is perfect on the inside. The scariest part? This could happen to anyone. The warning signs were all there. The injuries that kept mounting, the increasing isolation from family, the substance abuse that started as coping and evolved into self-destruction. But success can blind us to the darkness growing in our own minds, the question that haunts us all. So what do you think? Can Calum Von Moger ever stage a comeback to bodybuilding? More importantly, should he even try? Or is his greatest victory simply waking up each morning and choosing to keep fighting for his life? Maybe the real lesson here isn't about building the perfect physique. Maybe it's about building the mental resilience to handle success, failure, and everything in between without losing yourself in the process. Some battles are won in the gym, others are won in the mirror, when you're alone with your thoughts and forced to confront the person staring back at you. Which battle are you fighting right now? And are you winning? The final warning. Before you chase your next goal, before you post your next transformation photo, before you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, remember Calum Von Moger. Remember that the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face isn't your competition. It's the voice in your own head telling you that external success will fix internal problems. Mental health isn't a luxury. It's not optional. It's not something you deal with later when you have time. It's the foundation everything else is built on. And when that foundation cracks, everything else comes crashing down, no matter how perfect it looked from the outside. Don't let Calum's tragedy be your future. Get help. Talk to someone. Choose healing over hiding, because at the end of the day, being alive and struggling is infinitely better than being perfect and destroyed. Your thoughts? Your experiences? Share them below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to choose life over the alternative.